morning. Welcome to the Pearl Report. I'm Diana Lin. Better to die than be a coward. That's the motto of Nepalese Gurkha soldiers who served with British troops around the world for the past 2 centuries. Today, most of the 30,000 Nepalese residents in Hong Kong are descended from Gurkhas because they and their offsprings are allowed to stay in Hong Kong. But producer Billy Wong reports their poverty rate has skyrocketed in recent years as many Nepalese here are trapped in a vicious cycle of low education levels, menial jobs, juvenile crimes and drug abuse. Why has this happened? Is there a way out?
Traditional Nepalese costumes, gunyo cholo for girls, boys in daura suruwal, and dhaka topi, headgear also popular in parts of India. For centuries, Indian influence has seeped into Nepal over the lengthy border. 80% of Nepalese practice Hinduism.
We have got 2 kinds of naan. It's one with butter and one is plain.
A bread common in South Asian cuisine.
We Nepalese use hand to eat at home normally, but now it's we are in Hong Kong, it's a modern city.
Nepalese are allowed to live in Hong Kong due to historical ties with Gurkha soldiers, a legacy of colonial Britain. The Gurkha cemetery in Yuen Long. Hundreds of Nepalese soldiers and their dependents are buried here. Na Hang Rai was a Gurkha, recruited into the British garrison in 1985. The ethnic groups of Rai, as well as Gurun, Limbu and Maga, hail from central and eastern Nepal.
They are the ones who are recruited by the British Army to fight in the war because they live in the hilly region, and then they are more martial and loyal.
Being as a Gurkha or to maintain their duty as a honest soldier.
The British first spotted these traits fighting the Nepalese in a war in 1816 and started recruiting Gurkhas, the Nepalese word for their nationality. Gurkhas fought for the Allies in the 2 world wars and helped defend British colonies. Up to 10,000 Gurkhas were stationed in Hong Kong for border and crowd control from the 1940s, when 1 million mainland Chinese fled here to escape war, famine and persecution.
We Gurkhas worked as a concrete wall. We pushed our life in danger.
Na Hang retired voluntarily in 1994. His wife back in Nepal was born in Hong Kong of a Gurkha father. So she, Na Hang and their daughter were able to come to live here. Na Hang started a business, did well and now devotes his time to the Gurkha Cemetery Trust.
Our main aim is to respect our ancestors, to preserve the story. We Nepalese Gurkhas contributed a lot for Hong Kong. If the Gurkha story is not included in Hong Kong history, the history of Hong Kong is incomplete.
He and his ex-Gurkha friends often bring Nepalese youngsters here.
He died in 1974. He was only 18. So he's the youngest soldier cremated in this cemetery. There is no record how and why he died here. We need to find out the reason. 1 to 18. Down.
Secondary school teacher Amot Rai, aged 36, came to Hong Kong as a dependent of his wife, a daughter of Gurkha.
They have a great contribution, and there is nothing mentioned in the museum or wherever if we see any archive of Hong Kong. The coming generation, they feel that we are being neglected. The whole system hasn't been recognized, the legacy of our past generation.
His 17-year-old student Reshma Gurun's grandfather was a Gurkha.
knowing your own values of your own culture and your history, it sort of creates a sense of security and belonging. I can't say that I'm full Nepalese. I can't say that I belong to Hong Kong. A lot of Nepalese youth have this identity crisis.
Law professor Pooja Kapai notes many Nepalese, especially the young, now living in Hong Kong, have divided their time between Nepal and here, and thus having no firm root in either place.
There's also a lack of visibility of role models, a shortage of young people or even middle-level people who have succeeded. And those who have are likely to be those from the generations that came much earlier.
On the seedier side of Jordan, nestled in the shadow of luxury high-rises under a flyover, is a tent community where dozens of Nepalese youths take refuge. Nepal-born Raju finished secondary school and came to Hong Kong at 23 to look for a job. Months later, his father, a security guard, and mother retired to Nepal, leaving him here alone.
I'm lonely. I couldn't share everything I want to share because when you are away from your family, sometimes you feel helpless.
He found a job in security in 2012.
But after 2014, one of my new friends, he told me that there is some kind of drugs which you take, your mind will be very cool, you'll forget about every tension. Once after that, I started using drugs, heroin and ice.
Gradually, he lost his job to drug addiction.
After that, I didn't have money to pay the rent, so they kicked me out from the house.
He first stayed in a subway nearby, but authorities cleared all his belongings.
I just want Hong Kong people to see us as a human being, not as an animal, which you can throw all your things in one side.
Narcotics Division data shows among ethnic minorities, the Nepalese consistently have the highest rate of drug use. Dr. Wyman Tang studies drug use among Nepalese. He blames lack of parental care. A majority of Nepalese families have working parents.
The peer influence is a very important factor. For the younger ones, then they may also follow. When the heroin users, what they are doing.
We stay here because our brother, they started this, so it's very easy for us to join in. For a long time I used the drugs, and now it's a habit. I can't quit it because it's like going through a hell. Your body can't bear the pain.
But he had little money to buy drugs.
Then one of my friends took me to the welcome to steal. So I steal some milk powder. We sell this and we buy drugs.
He was arrested and jailed in July last year. Some of the regular dealers for the Nepalese stake out the methadone center, some 200 meters from the tents. They loiter for hours, exchanging money for small sachets of drugs. Some addicts can't wait to get high. Here, a man spits out something to sell.
Most likely, this will be a heroin. The methadone service is provided for the heroin users. The reason that they put the drugs in the mouth is that they will be usually wrapped in the plastic. The traditional wisdom is that if the police come and catch them, and then they just swallow it into their body, and then there is no evidence of possessing drugs.
He thinks the high accessibility of drugs contributes to the drug problem. Police figures showed last year 6 Chinese and 2 Nepalese were arrested for drug-related crimes in the tent city where Raju stays.
The song also describes about our life. We was once in the drugs and now we get changed. The community still give us love and hug.
Dhiraj Gurun became addicted to marijuana in Nepal. The sale of cannabis was legal in Nepal until 1973, when Nepal reached an agreement with the US to stop the international drug trade. But the domestic drug industry went underground.
In Nepal, we have belief of the culture is Shivaratri. the god of Shiva who used to take the ganja. Ganja is a marijuana. We celebrate the day is Shivaratri. People used to take the ganja and they usually get high.
Then he met and married a Hong Kong-born girl from a Gurkha family and managed to kick the drug habit. The couple moved to Hong Kong in 1997 and had a son a year later.
I came here work in construction to have a good earning. On the beginning, everything was going smoothly.
But around 2000,
I would always like to add some things in my life which can give me enjoyment. When I was working, there was a friend who used to take the cough syrup. On the break time,
Dheeraj joined him and relapsed into substance abuse. He lost his full-time job and in 2005, his wife and son suddenly moved out.
I didn't expect that my wife get disconnect from me, so we cannot get in contact with each other. That incident made me decide to stop my drug addiction.
He spent a year in rehab in Hong Kong and became a peer counselor in 2008 to help drug addicts among ethnic minorities.
Kambado, we reached the brother on the street. We will try to share them to change the lifestyle and to stop the addictions problem. We encourage them to go to the rehab center. They can come back and start the new life.
Late last year, Raju's sister came to Hong Kong to take her drug-addled brother back to Nepal for rehabilitation.
I don't take these drugs. I take heroin and ice. I take methadone sometimes. It's a medication.
Sam Garoon has followed Raju's case for a year.
He came back, returned back, and we were so surprised to see him in such a fresh condition. So that's why we believe that we can help others also to come out clean.
Now I'm looking for a job. They help me. So now as I'm clean, my friend, my family, they won't mind giving me some cash. Sometimes we friend go to work for a part-time to shift the home or in cargo, like that.
Coming up after the break.
He told me to put the victim into the drainage, and I have to do it.
Higher education, a problem for Nepalese youths?
My teacher, he was teaching in Chinese language. I was a bit confused.
That and more after the break. Stay with us.
Welcome back to the Pearl Report. About half of the Nepalese workforce in Hong Kong engage in low to semi-skilled work, mostly in security and construction. Producer Billy Wong finds only 16% of Nepalese youngsters continue their education after secondary school, while some face difficulties in advancing their studies in Hong Kong.
The seas of Lau Fau Shan and Sha Tau Kok used to be popular routes for Chinese illegal immigrants. Tej Rai drove boats on border patrol there as a Gurkha soldier for 15 years.
We used to always be on the front line. Our British counterpart, we used to work harder than them. They get more than 3 times higher, fringe and benefits and salaries. I didn't realize that we were treated unfairly. But now, looking at back, that was very much discriminated. What you have learned.
He wanted to become a commissioned officer in the British Army.
But Gurkhas, even you are very qualified people, we're not allowed to join directly as an officer.
He got saffron pay of $150,000. He decided to settle in Hong Kong, so he started a company that issued him a work visa to stay here.
In 15 years of my army, what I learned, I really value that. Hard work, honesty, loyal, and endurance. Gurkha is a worldwide branded name. Because of loyal, they are bodyguard. They cannot mix us with bad guys easily. Many high-value residential buildings use Gurkhas for branding.
He says Nepalese security guards can earn 20 to 30% more, but only if they had been Gurkha soldiers. Studies show about half of the Nepalese workforce in Hong Kong engages in low-skilled security and construction work.
It's really sad that mainly Nepalese people, they are in construction security, which is not a permanent job. It's always contract by contract basis. I feel very sad seeing young people, sometimes 16, 17, looking for construction security job because your parent cannot pay. They just laugh at you. That means they don't get good guidance from their parents,
Neil went to kindergarten and primary school on and off before entering Form 1 in a government secondary school geared for ethnic minorities, but not for long.
I got kicked out from school because I didn't go to school for 2 months. Sometimes my friend called me. We play games or we just hang around in Jordan or somewhere.
Kitlin Kong, an outreach worker, met Neil in a park in Jordan some years ago and has been counseling him.
It's a little bit hard for him. We know that it's a very unstable family, and we also heard that the father is alcoholic. Both the parents are drug addicts.
My father worked at night around midnight, and my mom say housewife.
I think he may suffer emotional abuse or verbal abuse sometimes.
3 years ago, at age 13, Neil and his teenage friend had a fight with a 6-year-old boy.
The 6-year-old annoying to him too much. He tell me that let's lie to him that we're going to buy for him a chocolate and we take him to the subway. My friend beat him up. He told me to put inside a drainage because he told me to do it and I have to do it. He's like trying to use me. Maybe my friend didn't know it was wrong to put the people in the drainage.
The case was widely reported. The police rescued the 6-year-old after more than 2 days.
佢係有嗌救命嘅，相信咧就因為佢俾啲石頭擲住咗啦，咁啊所以就唔可以自己行翻出嚟咯。
All those 4 kids, including the victim, involved in the case, their family is really broken families.
Neil was convicted of false imprisonment and spent half a year in juvenile jail. Police data shows a steady increase in the rate of arrests for crimes involving ethnic minorities, mainly related to thefts and assaults.
I was bad at the time. I was good now because I'm like changed. I also take cigarettes, but now I don't usually take. When my friends smoke weed, some of them relatives, uncle, take drugs, but I don't talk with them.
Before they get into any drugs or alcohol, like their parents, they come to know they can have a choice in their life.
The parents, they feel sad because I didn't go to school.
Did they help you find a school as well?
I asked them and then they say okay, but they don't know when to go there and help for me.
Only 14% of Nepalese youths aged between 19 and 24 receive full-time education, compared with 44% in the general population.
That means comparatively, every minority group cannot get the qualifications for getting a better jobs with higher pays or better prospects. And that means in the long run, this group of young people, they will end up in poverty situation. So this vicious cycle will continue. The problem is worrying.
The poverty rate among the Nepalese has risen 4-fold to 16.4% in a decade, but still lower than a territory-wide rate of 20.4%.
Sometimes the parents told me to go and find a job to work, to earn some more money for the parents and for the house rent.
At Non Garoon, He finished secondary school in Nepal and as a Gurkha descendant, came to Hong Kong in 2010, hoping to find a good job.
Basically what I have seen is like many jobs are offered like in man laborer jobs in constructions. Many are working as a cleaner.
He got a job in construction but injured himself in an accident and stopped working for 1.5 years. Then he dabbled in odd jobs, from money exchange to bartendering.
There's no any kind of growth, like mentally or educatively or the knowledgeably. I want a particular job where I can learn more.
So he enrolled in an accounting course at Open University.
When I was filling up the application form, the staff clearly explained that it's an English medium class. So I was happy and finally I got somewhere.
But at nonsense in the actual class, the teacher conducted the whole lesson in Cantonese.
I was confused whether I've been in the right class or not. And I didn't have much courage to stand up and ask the teachers.
But a Southeast Asian classmate confronted the teacher.
The teacher's response was, there are lots of local students, they could not be able to understand in English medium. After 5 or 6 minutes, 3 or 4 ethnic minority students, so we have to leave the class.
2 years on, the same course is still being taught in Cantonese, even though the school's website clearly specified it's an English-speaking class. The university says the program offers 1 class in English and 2 in Cantonese. In Adnan's case, the school says he might have mistakenly enrolled in a non-English tutorial class. Adnan dropped out of the class in the end.
After that, I felt like there are less opportunities for the ethnic minorities, especially we cannot understand the local language. At that time, I was feeling bad.
Last year, through family connections, Adnan landed a job as a manager in a jewelry shop.
What I have been doing is like handling all the accounts, handling all the stocks. In this organization, mostly we have Nepalese customers and Indians. We can communicate. I am enjoying my job much more than the other jobs.
I really feel proud. It seems that the whole my life I've been protecting Hong Kong, like many Gurkhas.
Even their past life is how difficult, we didn't give up, we can do, we can change.
We want to include our contribution to Hong Kong and our history to academic curriculum. If so, we will be very happy, and I think proudly we can say that Hong Kong is our second home.
Well, thank you for watching our show. It will be re-aired on Monday, Tuesday and Saturday, as well as on tvb.com. Until next time, from the Pearl Report team, good night, good luck and good health.